So in this video, I'm going to talk about 2D patterns. This is our lesson on patterning in general. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 2D patterns. First off, we're working with 2 dimensions. Let's pop back into our mechanical ribbon because we're working with 2D stuff. Now, there's actually already a 2D pattern that I've shown you how to use. Let's say, for instance, I had a rectangle. I'll start at 0, 0, and I'll give it a dimensions. Its dimensions 10 by 5. So I have a 2D sketch here. And then I have a circle in the middle here. I'll give it a radius of ½ an inch. And I wanted to put that circle on the other side. Now, you guys know, of course, that if I wanted to do that, the best way to do it is to use the mirror tool up here. This is a 2D pattern. I'm creating a pattern, right? I'm creating the same thing somewhere else. It's a symmetric pattern. So the first thing you do is you select an object, you hit enter, and then you click on 2 points to define an axis of symmetry. You decide if you want to erase the original circle or not. I don't, so I hit no. And there we go. I've patterned the circle onto the other side. Now let's say, instead of just having 2 things or having something be mirrored, you wanted to have many things, an array of this shape that I just created. That's where we would use rectangular array. So let's say I wanted rows and columns of this rectangle with circles in it. I would use rectangular array for that. Lots of your final projects have features that include rectangular arrays. So let's select rectangular array. First thing we're going to do is we're going to select all of this as our object, and we're going to hit enter. And then it'll automatically create a bunch of these, a bunch of copies. And if you look up here, you'll get this menu. This might be a little bit different if you're using AutoCAD for Macs, but in essence, all we're doing is we're selecting the number of columns, the number of rows, the number of levels if you want to space it vertically as well. Right now that's set to 1. And the spacing between them. So that's the spacing between the center, the geometric center of each piece. So right now I have 4 columns. I can change that number. I can make it 6. And I should get more columns. I can change the number of rows. I can make it 2, and I'll get less columns. I can change the spacing between. I can make it 7 inches instead of 7.5 between each of them. I can make it instead of 15 inches between them horizontally, I can make it 20. And this way I can pattern it however I want. I can also change the number of levels, so I can stack vertically as well. I can make it 3 levels, and I can make the spacing between them 5 inches. And this can be very useful for lofting as well. If you think about it, if you have to loft something, you can then edit each sketch's size. So this is how we can create an array rectangularly, vertically. And then once you're done, you just hit close array, and it'll leave what you had, what you've created, and you can go through and you can individually extrude, press, pull these items. Okay, now let's go back a hair. Let's go back to this shape. Now there's another type of array. If we click on this drop down next to rectangular array, there's path array, which we're not going to get into today. That allows you to create an array, a pattern along some sort of path that you draw. That doesn't come in too often, but the one that does come in very often is polar array, or a circular pattern. It creates a circular pattern of an object. This is very useful if you're trying to create something like a gear. I'm going to create something that I found in the textbook right now. Let me actually pause this so I can have the video display, the picture displayed for you as I work.